When war breaks out, most people think about tanks, headlines, and chaos. But behind the scenes, far away from explosions and breaking news alerts, something quieter, more calculated begins to happen. Money moves. Not small amounts, not cautious investments. We're talking billions shifting across borders, vanishing from one system and reappearing in another. Almost like a financial evacuation plan only the ultra-wealthy truly understand. So here's the question no one really asks. When the world feels like it's falling apart, where do billionaires actually put their money? Because the truth is, they don't panic, they prepare. And once you understand how they move their wealth during war, you start to see the global financial system in a completely different way. Number 1, the first move, liquidity over everything. The moment geopolitical tension rises, before missiles, before invasions, the first move is always the same, liquidity. Billionaires don't wait for war to officially begin. They watch signals, political instability, sanctions discussions, troop movements, economic pressure, and then they convert. Assets that are slow to move, like real estate, private equity, or long-term ventures, get partially liquidated. Why? Because during war, speed matters more than growth. Cash or near-cash assets gives them flexibility. It allows them to react instantly. But here's where it gets interesting. They don't just hold cash in one currency, because in wartime, currencies themselves become weapons. Number 2, currency diversification, betting on stability. In a global conflict, not all currencies are equal. Some collapse, some get restricted, some become impossible to move. So billionaires diversify across what are considered safe haven currencies. The US dollar is often the primary choice. It remains the world's reserve currency and tends to strengthen during global instability. Then there's the Swiss franc, historically neutral, stable, and trusted. And sometimes the Singapore dollar, known for strong governance and economic resilience. This isn't random, it's strategic positioning. They're not trying to predict the winner of a war, they're trying to survive any outcome.
Number 3, the silent shift to gold. Now let's talk about something ancient, gold. For thousands of years, across empires, collapses, and wars, gold has held one key advantage. It doesn't depend on any government. And during war, that matters more than ever. Billionaires don't necessarily store gold the way you might imagine. It's not just bars and vaults. It's allocated gold accounts, private vault storage in politically neutral countries, and sometimes even physical relocation of reserves. Why? Because in extreme scenarios, when banks freeze accounts or governments impose capital controls, gold becomes a financial lifeboat. It's outside the system, and in war, being outside the system can mean everything. Number 4, moving wealth across borders. One of the biggest misconceptions is that wealth just sits somewhere. In reality, billionaire wealth is constantly in motion, especially during crises. They use international banking networks, offshore structures, and multi-jurisdictional accounts. This means their money isn't tied to one country. If one region becomes unstable, they already have assets positioned elsewhere. Places like Switzerland, Singapore, and certain offshore financial centers become key hubs, not because they're secretive, but because they're stable, predictable, and legally structured to protect capital. And here's the critical part. This movement often happens before the public even realizes something is wrong. Number 5, the rise of hard assets. War doesn't just threaten money, it threatens supply chains, infrastructure, and entire economies. So billionaires shift into hard assets. We're talking about things with intrinsic value, assets that don't rely purely on financial systems. Energy resources, agricultural land, critical commodities like oil, natural gas, and metals. Because no matter what happens, people still need food, energy, and raw materials. In fact, during war, these assets often increase in value. So while markets may crash, certain sectors surge, and billionaires position themselves accordingly.
Number 6, real estate, but not how you think.
You might assume real estate becomes risky during war, and in many cases it does. But billionaires don't abandon real estate, they relocate it. Instead of holding property in unstable regions, they acquire assets in politically neutral or highly stable countries. Cities with strong legal systems, low corruption, and global connectivity become prime targets. Places like London, New York, Singapore, and parts of Switzerland. But this isn't just about investment, it's also about optionality. A property in a stable country isn't just an asset, it's a potential escape route, a backup plan, a place to operate if everything else collapses. Number 7. Private networks and insider intelligence. Here's something most people don't consider. Billionaires don't rely solely on public information. They have access to private intelligence networks, advisors, analysts, geopolitical experts, people whose entire job is to anticipate risk before it becomes visible. This gives them a massive advantage. While the average person reacts to headlines, they're acting on early signals. And that timing difference, it can mean the difference between preserving wealth or losing it. Number 8. The role of cryptocurrency. Now let's talk about something more modern, cryptocurrency. During recent conflicts, crypto has emerged as both an opportunity and a risk. On one hand, it offers something incredibly powerful: borderless transfer. No banks, no intermediaries, no restrictions. In theory, this makes it ideal during war, especially when traditional systems are disrupted. But billionaires approach crypto cautiously. They don't go all in. Instead, they use it as a hedge, a parallel system. Because while crypto offers freedom, it also comes with volatility. And in times of war, stability often outweighs speculation.
Number 9. Avoiding sanctions and restrictions. One of the biggest threats during war isn't just economic collapse, it's government action. Sanctions, asset freezes, capital controls. Entire fortunes can become inaccessible overnight. So billionaires structure their wealth in ways that minimize exposure. Multiple jurisdictions, legal entities across different countries, diversified banking relationships. This isn't about evasion, it's about resilience. They're building systems that can withstand political pressure from any single government. Number 10. Investing in the aftermath. Here's where things take a surprising turn. War isn't just about defense. For billionaires, it's also about positioning for what comes next. Because after every conflict, there's rebuilding. Infrastructure, energy systems, technology, entire economies get reshaped. And those who have capital ready move in early. They invest in reconstruction, emerging markets and industries that will define the post-war world. So while most people focus on surviving the crisis, billionaires are already planning for the recovery. Number 11. The psychology of wealth in crisis. At its core, this isn't just about money, it's about mindset. The biggest difference between average investors and billionaires during war is emotional control. There's no panic, no impulsive decisions, just strategy. They operate with a long-term perspective, even in short-term chaos, because they understand something most people overlook. War is temporary, but financial positioning during war can have permanent consequences. What this means for you. Now, you might be thinking, this is all interesting, but I'm not a billionaire, and that's fair. But the principles still apply. Diversification, liquidity, risk awareness, geographic exposure. These aren't exclusive to the ultra-wealthy. They're strategies, and understanding them, even at a smaller scale, can change how you think about money during uncertain times. Because while you may not move billions, you can still move smarter. So the next time you see headlines about conflict, about instability, about uncertainty, remember this: somewhere behind the scenes, money is already moving, quietly, strategically, preparing for outcomes most people haven't even considered yet. Because while war creates chaos on the surface, it creates opportunity beneath it. And those who understand the system don't just survive it, they position themselves to come out stronger. And that raises one final question.
If you knew a storm was coming, would you wait for it to hit? Or would you move before anyone else even sees the clouds forming?